Hey guys, me again. Anyway, video psych. Yeah, here's another one of these videos for you guys. Of course, this time I decided to talk about how life just is not fair. I mean, of course, again, you probably actually know this, at least to some extent. I'm even remember when I was in high school, me and the kids used to talk about how life was unfair. I remember we used to talk about how, sometimes we would like a girl, but then for some reason she would go out with this complete douche that couldn't even count to 10. I also remember we would something a promotion or a status or how we deserved to be team leader in a track you know group or whatever. And yet for some reason somebody else would be given that position. Now there could be many reasons, of course, why people would be given this position. One, and this is actually the biggest reason why people don't get promotions like that sometimes, and that's because people just simply don't like you sometimes. Sometimes people just don't like you, or maybe sometimes they just like somebody else more, or sometimes you know for whatever reason they just feel that you aren't ready yet to have that kind of responsibility. Maybe they don't think you have the strength. You just never fucking know. You just never know. Either that, or maybe the person charmed them into thinking, hey, I should probably just give it to this guy instead. You just never know. But again, life can just definitely be unfair. And when I was 16 years old and, I was first getting out of homeschool, and I, of course, wasn't able to get into other schools. I was in the Christian school that I was in because the other schools wouldn't let me learn with the other kids because they felt that I was just handicapped or something, you know, because of my previous school that I was at. And, of course, shit just happens sometimes. I obviously actually wasn't really handicapped, but, that's just life sometimes. I just learned differently from other kids. That's the only thing that was really an issue with schools. But of course, with this other school that at the very least, I guess, let me learn with the other kids and let me go to class with them, like, what should normally happen, in my opinion. Of course, even then, I was getting harassed a lot. I sometimes would get physically beaten. I, even by women. I, I would physically get hit by women. I remember even one time there was even rocks thrown at me. And of course, it was dumb for them to do, but sometimes that is just life. Sometimes life is just unfair like that. Of course, other Christians that I've talked to about that have of course, told me, sometimes some younger Christians don't really know what it is to be Christian. So they sometimes have a bit of a confusion about what Christianity is about. Just because I was a bit of a pervert doesn't mean I deserve to have rocks thrown at me. Besides, I never really talked to those women or hit on them anyway. But they, for whatever reason at the time, felt that it was appropriate for me to get rocks thrown at me. And also basketballs during recess. They also used to throw basketballs in my face. Actually, lots of times, I had to actually stand against the wall to not get basketballs get thrown at me because they would always try to throw, you know, while they're behind me or something. So I had to actually lean up against the wall eventually during recess time. I remember when I was 16 through 17 years old. But, sometimes I learned at the time is that sometimes life is just not within our power. Life is just sometimes not within our control. And all that we can do is just deal with it. And again, nothing is handed to us. If we do work at something enough, we might eventually get it. Of course, that's if you actually really want something, of course. There have been plenty of things I've tried over time that I've decided to try, and I've decided, and whatever, and just moved on to the next thing. But, of course, don't let this get you down if you fail at getting something. Because, you're not just going to get something most of the time in life. You've got to keep at it. Just like becoming a successful artist doesn't just happen. You know, life just isn't fair like that. Life should be like that, but it just isn't, because life just is not fair like that at all. I've of course learned over time, and of course also you've also just got to know the right people sometimes. Some people will just boss you around for no reason, it seems, and will dislike you for whatever reason. Sometimes people, it just seems like, just don't fucking like you. But then sometimes you meet people that are, they seem like very good people. You seem to get them along with them very naturally, and life just kind of moves on. That's really all that you can do sometimes. I mean, of course, I wish life was a bit easier sometimes, but that's just not how it is. Again, that being said, I guess I'll just end this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.